Good morning, everyone. I am Leah Dixon from Port Coquitlam, British Columbia, and I'm here for my weekly Wednesday morning Facebook Live. I always pop on at 9 o'clock-ish. I try to be right at 9, but technology always takes me a little bit, even though I do this at least once a week, it takes me always a little bit of time to figure out exactly what I'm doing to get this to go live. And so I am here. Thank you for your patience. And this week, if you're following my page, you'll see that I've been featuring the Eden's Garden suite. I don't actually have it in my hands yet, though. I was a little bit late ordering, and so it'll be a while before I actually get a hold of that. So instead, I'm going to do a catalog smash up card for you guys today. I was looking through our annual catalog because I kind of feel like at this time of year, everybody's really into that mini catalog, and we kind of forget about our annual catalog, and there's some really great holiday stamp sets in there. So on page 95, I'm taking a look at the banner year cards that Stampin' Up! Has, and this is something I love to do, is kind of look at their cards and either case them directly or switch them up, use a different stamp set or use different colors. And in today's case, I've actually taken two projects from the same page and smashed them together. So I'm going to switch my screen over so that you guys can see my desktop. And I'll just give you a little sneak peek at what I'm actually looking at here. So on page 95 of our annual catalog, and I'm just going to try and move my view around so I can see comments and I can see what you guys can see. Okay, now I can see what you guys can see. And I think I've found the comments section. So strange. It keeps changing up on me. All right, so the two projects that I'm going to kind of smash together today are this cute little ombre bag with the gift tags, as well as this fun, they say it's like, it's got the little clock symbol beside it, which means it's a quick card to create. Now I'm making it a little less quick because I'm going to be adding in some embossing, but so I'm going to smash these two together to create a sweet little Christmas card for you guys using the Banner Year stamp set. All right, so hopefully on my end there seems to be a little bit of a lag. Hopefully on your end it's not too bad. And so this is the Banner Year set that I'm using. I have a little sticker on here saying that it's $48 for the bundle. It doesn't actually come as a bundle anymore. But I'm going to use the stamp set all on its own, and all on its own it's $23 for this cute little stamp set. And I love it because it does like all the holidays from September to December. So we're going to use some Christmas pieces for this one. I have got, to get us started, I've got all my bits right here, and so we're using an evening evergreen base. And put that to the side. That's going to be our insert, because with an evening evergreen base, it's so dark, we definitely want to add in a little white insert so that we can write in our card. So we've got that, and then I've got another piece of evening evergreen, and I'll be honest with you, I don't even know how wide this is. It was just a scrap I had. It's 3 inches wide, and then I did cut it to 5.5 in length, so that I'm going to be able to emboss it and put it straight onto my card front, and it will go from top to bottom on my card front. So that's the first thing we're going to do, is I'm going to grab my mini boss, and we are going to emboss this, and we're going to use one of the folders from the greenery embossing pack. So it's actually 2 folders that come in this pack, and we are going to use this one that's like all the little leaves going up and down, because to me it kind of almost looks like a Christmas sweater. And we do have that awesome Christmas sweater stamp, but I really wanted some texture, like some actual physical texture on this card. All right. So I'm going to pop that into my embossing folder, and then sandwich this between 2 plate 2s. Oops, and I forgot. I also need my plate 3. So plate 3, oh, maybe it's... I always got to relearn these sandwiches every time I do this. No, that's not thick enough. Okay. Then maybe it's plate 1 with the sandwich is what it's showing me. Every time I gotta try it. Okay. They do actually, oh, just one. Plate 1. Oh, no, that's for dies. Okay, where's my embossing one? Okay, here we go. Plate 4 and 1 with the sandwich and nothing else. Okay. Just got to learn how to read and then I'd know how to do this. No, that's still not right. Okay, let's try plate 4 with the sandwich. I swear I've embossed before. No, that's still not going to work. Okay, plate 1, 4 and a sandwich? No. All right. Well, guys, I am not having any luck with this. What am I missing? Oh, here we go. Plate 1, sandwich 3. Okay, this should be it. Come on. Nope. Okay. Wow, I am not having luck with this. Okay, plate 2, the sandwich, and 3. I think that embossed it. Let's see. No, it did not. Okay, guys, I am at a loss. If any of you who are watching know how to do this embossing, please let me know. So I've got my sandwich, my 4 and my 1 is what it's saying. Let's try sandwich 4 and 3. No, that's definitely too thin. 4, 1, sandwich too thin. What is going on? Why am I not able to do this? Oh, that's for 3D embossing folders. That's why. Standard embossing folders, it's 1, sandwich 3. Oops. Okay, and then I gotta stack these a little bit. Well, this is super crazy, but there we go. Finally got it. Okay. Sandwich is plate 1, your embossing folder, and then plate 3. Okay. Little trial and error there. So now that we've gone through all of that craziness, I have, oh, it's okay, Eva, I figured it out. There we go. All right, so now I have that really cute little piece. I am going to flip this around and glue it down. It's always fun. You normally do my embossing on my big machine, and I just have my little mini one here with me today, partially because all the pieces I'm using today fit in the mini. But to be very honest, I don't often emboss with it, so that was fun. Now I know, plate 1 and 3. Okay, so I've glued that down, and so it's just an evening evergreen on evening evergreen, but it just gives it a little bit of texture and interest to our background. Just kind of makes it a bit different. Okay, so with our base done, I'm going to move that out of the way. I'm going to bring this in so that we can do some stamping. So this is my Stampin' Pierce mat. Oh, and it's dirty. Gross. This is my Stampin' Pierce mat, and I use it for stamping on because it gives me a good cushion, but a very firm cushion, so that I can do some lovely stamping. And I've just got a scrap of white, basic white here. Now, I did make sure, first of all, though, that this scrap that I have is large enough, is definitely large enough, to put the smallest of the tailor-made tags onto it, so that I can cut out a sentiment. Now, this is going to be really tight, guys, which is why normally I would pre-cut my tags and then stamp them. But this is going to be super, super tight, so we're going to stamp first and then cut around it. So I've got Evening Evergreen ink now, and I grabbed the Be Merry out of our Banner Year stamp set. I'm going to just ink that up and stamp that onto our piece of basic white. There we go. And then set that off to the side, close up my ink so I don't make a giant mess. And this is going to get cut out. Now, I'm going to use my mini boss again. Now, luckily, this is what I use my mini boss for most often, so I know this sandwich quite well. You won't have to watch me fumble around anymore. So it's plate 3, plate 2, put down our sentiment. And then this one, I want it so that I am keeping my Be Merry kind of straight, but that Y is right at the very edge. I'm not going to cut it off because this die is actually as large as the outside. The inside line just marks where there's a little bit of stitching. And I want to make sure that that dot where our hole is going to be on our tag is not covering up my B. And then I'm going to put down my top plate and run that through. So it's a super tight fit there. That's why we did our stamping first, so that we would have no problems. There we go. So cute. All right, now while we have all of this stuff out, I'm now actually going to go grab, so we used that smallest one. I'm going to go grab the second largest tag, and we're going to cut out a piece of designer series paper. Now this is a piece from the Tidings of Christmas designer series paper. This is in the annual catalog. It is an awesome 6x6 pack. I've used up all of this one except for these little strips, so it's double-sided. Gorgeous soft succulent pattern with pine cones and holly, and then a nice bright white evening evergreen soft succulent and cherry cobbler pattern on the other side. And then it's all, I think it's crumb cake or Sahara sand mixed with evening evergreen, cherry cobbler, and soft succulent. And it's all just these beautiful, wintry, Christmassy kind of patterns. Just absolutely gorgeous. So that's the designer series paper that I'm using today. And so I took one of these stripy ones, and I'm just going to run through this tag with the stripy one, and I want the stripes going across. Now you do want to make sure that you line that up straight, because you don't want, like, well, maybe you do want diagonal lines, but I personally want straight up and down. So I'm just making sure that that goes through properly. Okay, oops, I didn't roll it all the way through. There we go. And then I'm going to cut out one more tag, and this one may seem a little bit strange to you guys. I'm not going to use cardstock or designer series paper. I'm actually going to bring in one of our ombre bags. Okay, so that other pattern or the other project in the catalog that I'm casing was actually a treat bag, and they had it all beautifully decorated. I don't have much use for little treat bags like this. So these are the in-color treat bags. You get them in the pack. You get all the colors: the polished pink, pale papaya, soft succulent, evening evergreen, and fresh freesia in these gorgeous ombre bags. And I'm going to take this bag, and I'm actually going to very carefully open it up. Okay. Actually, you know what? Instead of doing that, I might just trim it to open it. Actually, I'm just going to use my scissors because I know that I'm going to end up cutting this all up with dies. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to come in here and cut down the center. There we go. And then I'm going to cut off this side. All right. So I'm just kind of leaving this bag, like, you know, I've got this nice piece and this larger piece with no creases or anything in them. And I'm just going to put that back with my other bag so I can continue to use this. All right. Now, my last tag, I'm going to cut it out of this ombre bag. And I'm using that second largest die again. And I want to just make sure that I get my ombre in here so that I've got like a movement from the lightest to the darker. There we go. And pop that in, roll it through. And there we go. Now, if you were worried that that was going to be too flimsy for whatever you were creating, you could always glue this ombre bag down onto a piece of cardstock before you cut it out. And then that would kind of add a bit more like structure to the paper. But for what I'm doing, this is going to be just fine because I'm actually going to be layering it up with all of these other pieces. Now, before I layer this up, I am going to do a little bit of stamping on it. And I am going to be doing some embossing as well. So I have got just the little holly berries from the Banner Year stamp set and my Versamark. Now I've had my hands all over this, so I'm just going to take some of the oils off of it just by rubbing my embossing buddy on there. Now if you don't have one of these guys, because these guys are a very old product, I've heard you can use dryer sheets. So there we go. So now I'm going to take my holly berries and my Versamark, and I am just going to stamp a few of these around on this tag. I'm not too worried about where they end up because we're just going to go with it and put leaves in after the fact once we see where these berries ended up. So I'm now going to grab my silver embossing powder, and actually I'm going to grab a scrap paper too, just because I don't want to get silver embossing powder all over my Stampin' Pierce mat. So I'm going to put some silver embossing powder on here and then tap that off. And that looks good. I might just do another little quick tap to get a bit more off. Okay, and while we're at it with the silver embossing powder, I'm also going to grab that insert back, and I'm going to stamp a holly berry down in the bottom corner of that insert. So, sorry guys, I'm not on screen to do that, I don't think. My desk got a little full. Alright, so I stamped that down there. I'll just pick up some silver and tap that off. So this is also the insert for our card, and if you wanted to, you could do your envelope as well. Okay, so with all of that done, I'm going to scooch all of that back into my jar. Now, the silver embossing powder actually is sold now as a metallics combo. So you get gold, silver, and copper all together in one pack. And so kind of nice because Stampin' Up has such good embossing powders. And so kind of nice to get all the metallics together. All right, here we go. We're going to heat this up. Okay, so we've got all those holly berries, all silver and embossed now. And I'm going to now grab the leaves and my evening evergreen. And actually, I'm going to bring back a scrap paper as well to just put over top of my my Stampin' Pierce mat, because some of these might go off my tag a little bit, and I don't want to ink up my Stampin' Pierce mat. Alright, so just some evening evergreen, and there we go. Put them around those holly berries that I stamped. Just kind of filling in the space, kind of going wherever. And then I do have some space over here. I'm not too worried about filling in this space because I am going to be putting a tag across there, but just... there we go. Just put in a little bit more. All right. Oh, and sorry, I almost forgot. We should add those leaves to our insert as well for our card. All right, so I'm going to put a little bit, actually just the one. There we go. So we've got all of that done. Our holly is done now with those cute little silver berries. I know it's not really what holly looks like, but that's okay. It works for this. I loved how the silver and evening evergreen looked on the card in the catalog. All right, so now that we've got that done, we can put this insert into our card. So I'm going to open this up, grab my liquid glue, And if you're watching right now, feel free to say hi and chat, or maybe you are and the comments aren't coming through. I'm not sure. My internet has been super laggy. Oh, hi, Noelle. Yeah, my internet has been super duper laggy. We're working with TELUS to try and get it fixed, and it's really starting to frustrate me. All right, so that's put together, and now we're going to actually layer these guys up. Now, I'm going to glue this one down first, and I'm going to glue it down or use I'm actually going to use a mini glue dot because I like to keep it nice and clean. I'm going to line up those holes, and I'm going to put this so that it's on an angle and the top corner is touching the top edge of that. So I'm just going to use, actually I'm going to use some seal. Good morning, Norma. I'm just going to use some seal on the back of this. There we go. So, like I said, line up those holes and then get that top edge up like that. All right, and now I'm going to put just a little bit of seal on the back of this, and we're going to grab that, that striped one that we did, and I'm going to line up the holes again and give it a good little angle. Oops, don't stick yet. There we go. But I don't want it to be, I want it to be more of an angle, like, so I don't want the top of the Mary and the top of the stripes to end up being a straight line. So I want to give it more of an angle than that so that we get a little bit of interest going on there. All right, so it's just very slightly more, and now that's going to fit nicely onto our card, but we have to add in our ribbon and everything. And I wanted to show you the coolest thing. Hi, Shirley. The coolest thing about these tailor-made tags is that they come with the little like reinforcers for the tags. And I love that you actually get 4, and this one you get 3 all together. So you just have to like cut once to get 4 of them, and then you've got 1 for each of your tags. So it's pretty awesome that way. Now, I want these in gold metallic. Now, I do have gold foil, but for some of you, you may not have gold foil paper, and you may want that gold look. So I wanted to show you something super awesome. This was actually a trick I got out of the catalog on this catalog page that I am casing. So you have to be a real detective when you're using our catalog. They have the coolest ideas in here. Right here, they've shown a picture where they've embossed, just like they smashed down their Versamark pad, put gold embossing powder on it and embossed it, and then cut images out of it. So to me, that is just absolutely brilliant. Because sometimes you don't have like copper foil and you don't want a whole package of it just to do a little tag like this. So I'm going to bring back in my mat here. I'm going to bring back in my scrap paper, and I'm going to bring in my leftover scrap of white that I have here from when I cut out that first tag. I'm going to get my Versamark pad, and I'm literally just going to smash it down onto my paper. So my whole paper now is covered in Versamark ink. No image there, just Versamark. Then I'm going to grab my gold Stampin' Emboss powder and sprinkle that. Oh, mine's been sitting for a while, and apparently it's gotten chunky. Holy. All right, so, and then I'll tap that off. Now I don't need to tap it off too much because, of course, we're not trying to see a nice pattern. And I'm just going to set that to the side. And all of this, I'm just going to pour back into my jar. Okay, so that's all poured back into my jar. And now we're going to heat up this whole big piece of gold that we have. It'll take a little longer than usual. right, so there we go. It takes a little longer to heat up a whole sheet of gold than it does to just melt a few words. But there we have it. We have this really awesome little piece of gold now. And now I'm just going to let that cool slightly while I grab all my materials. It doesn't take long to cool. I'm going to grab my mini boss again with my plate 3, my plate 2. I'm going to put this piece of gold down. That's nice and cool now. I'm going to put those 4 little circles onto my gold. And I'm going to run them through. There we go. And now, of course, you can do this with anything. It doesn't just have to be these little eyelets. All right, so now I've got this little piece I'm going to save because I can cut more cute little things out of that gold. That's going into my bin of fun papers to continue to use. And, oh, I've got my paper piercer somewhere else. I was prepping for a card class and I've been cutting out alphabet letters, so I've had this over at my alphabet at my other station to be able to pop out alphabet letters. All right, so there we go. We'll pop all those out. Now I've also got these little dots. I'm going to keep those because those make great little confettis. So I actually have like a little bin that I just put these little circles into to make confettis. And when there's enough of them collected, I make a shaker card. All right, and I can put these extra ones because I'm only going to use one of these circles. I can put those into my bin as well. All right, there we go. So let's bring the card back in. So you can see how this could have been a very quick card if we were just cutting tags, but made it a little bit more complicated by making that cute little gold piece that we're going to put right onto our card there. So I am using just liquid glue to do this. And there we go. Just 4 of the tiniest little dots. And then pop that down on top of our circles. There we go. So we've got just that tiniest little gold accent. And then we're going to add in a bit more gold and silver onto this card by bringing in some gold, gold shimmer ribbon. And it just looks so nice with the gold embossing, like it just coordinates so nicely. And we're going to run that through, but not too much. I'm not doing a full bow or anything on here. I'm just running this through and then going to trim that off like that because I'm just making like a little tag like that. And then we're going to tie in the silver piece by bringing in some of our Simply Elegant trim. So Simply Elegant trim is 2 rows. You get a gold and a silver. Oh, I'm almost out of gold. A gold and a silver. And what I'm going to do with this is I'm just going to find out how much do I need to make a little bunny ear bow. And I'm going to snip that off. There we go. And then I'm going to take this little piece and I'm going to tie it around my gold shimmer ribbon. I'm going to tie a knot first. So once I've got that little, like I've squeezed it shut there, it's all pinched it together. Now I'm going to get my bunny ears and I'm going to make a little bow here with my silver from my Simply Elegant trim. And just fiddle with that till I get it the size I want it and the direction I want it. There we go. Okay. A little bit smaller. Excellent. And then I'm just going to trim the one end. And I'm going to trim these gold pieces just enough that they are going to stay on my card. Don't like it when things kind of fly off the card. There we go. Trim those so that they stay on my card. And now this tag that I've just created, I'm going to put it onto my card. And I'm just going to wiggle those a bit. I'm going to put it onto my card so that my Be Merry is actually straight on my card front. And I'm going to attach that with dimensionals. So I'm just going to put a dimensional under the ombre bag, a dimensional under the DSP, and a dimensional up at the top. Peel those off. And add that to, oh, now remember, I want my beam Mary to be straight. It's just going to look weird if the sentiment's not straight. All right, and then those just fly up a bit. And voila, there is our finished card. So I'll just bring the catalog back in so you can see how this became a smash up of the two projects in the catalog. So we had this fun little card with the tags and the trim, and then this gorgeous ombre with the patterned paper and the gold and silver accents, and I just kind of smashed them together to create this card. So that is the Banner Year stamp set that I was working with, and then just some fun, the ombre bag and the Chris Tidings of Christmas Designer Series paper. So I hope you guys liked that and learned a few little tricks and tips today. I love making that little gold accent. It's so nice instead of having, you know, a ton of gold foil paper and stuff on hand. And yeah, that is our card for today. So thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you guys will take some time to go to my link tree. It's in the description of this video. Check out some of the upcoming classes I have. Check out the amazing starter kit deal that's happening right now. $100 only to get $165 worth of Stampin' Up! Product, and you don't pay shipping on that $100 or anything. So it is really a smoking deal. And yeah, we have a paper pumpkin that today is the last day that you can order the November paper pumpkin. It's some really cute treat packaging with snowmen and stacks of gifts and stuff like that, and it's 9 oversized treat packages. So today's the last day to register for that. The link that you can do that through is also in my link tree. And what else do we have happening? Oh, and I have a special going on right now. Anybody who places an order over $100 is going to receive a package of wonderful snowflakes from me as a thank you. So I'll be mailing those out at the end of the month, and please use the host code that's here on the screen if you're going to do that. That way I know that you've entered into that to get those free snowflakes. So yeah, I think that's everything that's happening in the Stampin' Up! World right now. Crazy, crazy times. Oh, thank you so much, Norma and Eva. Yeah, so have a fabulous Wednesday. I'm off to take kids to the dentist now, and then back to do some more card prep. I have a whole bunch of classes coming up in November, and pretty soon I'll have my December schedule out as well. It's going to be a little bit quieter at the beginning, but I have some really awesome plans to keep people busy after Christmas in that last week between Christmas and New Year's. So have a great day, everyone, and we'll see you next Wednesday.